So I'm live. At least this tells me for sure I'm live. Oh boy. Oh, I think I'm going to open up my... Hello, RVG Day, TJ. Hello, senior sister. And no, I'm not driving and doing this today. Forever best friend. Hello. Let's see, where's the camera? There it is. I had to bring Richard to the urgent care because his ear is completely plugged up. Completely can't hear out of it at all. So he is here, and I said it probably is going to be about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So I thought I would come on here and just chat about the day, and if people need to make connection, that's great too. I want to tell you about a person that I've met today, and I believe RV DJ was there too, maybe. It's Catfish Terry, and Catfish Terry I was very impressed with him. I had met him over on Roy and Becky's Travels, Roy and Becky's place, met him there, and he had a great stream today. I had been a friend of his for a while, but I'd never been on an actual stream. And I'll tell you what, besides the fact that he's got a green screen that's this beautiful giant fish tank behind him, made me feel Boucher Street. He's not a nice when he is hurting. Well, there's no pain, so he thinks it's just wax. But I don't know. It's about time now. Hello to you too. Glad you stopped in. I'm just killing some time. Thought if people needed to make some connections, we could do that today, and just chat and see how everybody's doing. I'm not meaning to step on anybody's toes. If anybody's having live streams right now, that's really not my intention at all. But so I was talking about Catfish Terry, who I was on his live stream today. Super neat man. I really, really, even though I'm not a cat fisherman and I don't have a fish tank, because when I had Unpaved Explorer, welcome. Thank you for coming in. We're just chatting and making connections as needed. And so I haven't had a fish tank since I was a little girl, and I wouldn't clean it. My mom kept saying, I'm not getting you a fish tank. You won't clean it. You don't pick up your shoes. You don't pick up your socks. And I'm like, oh, Mom, I promise I'll clean it. I'll clean it. I might clean it once, but just no, I didn't clean it. And that's not good to do. And so, Diana, let's see, which Diana's on here? Hello, Diana. So if I could, I would have a fish tank, but I can't have a fish tank. I don't believe in travel. So that's my number one thing in life. And that's where my focus is towards January. And so anyways, I love them. My doctor's office, or my ex-doctor's office, has beautiful, beautiful big fish tanks. And okay, Diana, is you. It's about time now. It seems like that's correct. Hi, Diana. I love, when I've had to go there, it's a nice place to go because I can sit and watch the fish. And also on the pediatric side, they have fish tanks, and the children love the fish tanks. So it was really nice. How's everybody doing today? Let's see what's going on. Yeah. Saltwater best. Saltwater with things seems to be best. So I know people who have had pools, loving life hitched up. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming by. We're just talking and chatting and networking, making friends if necessary. So, and the correct way to do that, I think everybody on here knows, but I'm just going to say it for the sake of my channel, is that the correct way to do it is check somebody's channel out, find a video and watch it. And if you think there's somebody that you might be interested in, how I do it is I write them a nice message on that video, something that has some content to it, my message anyways, and go back, keep going back, like, subscribe, hit the bell. And that's how I do it. It's raining in Cleveland, so I'll show you what it's doing here in Eugene, Oregon. We got beautiful blue skies. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let's see, has anybody else come in since I moved the camera? It's beautiful here. Although it'll turn bad in about 15 minutes. I always say, Senior Sister Freebird. So is that your new name, Senior Sister Freebird, or is this? Yes, I didn't notice that Freebird was added to the end. I see your picture and it's you. And I didn't know that you added Freebird. That's a cool name. That'd be hard to forget. Not forgettable. That's for darn sure. So anyways, yeah, it's beautiful here. Although I'll tell you, my favorite season is fall here. Forever best friend, woot woot. We're just chatting and connecting and all kinds of good stuff. So it's beautiful. I have my window down. I don't even feel the need to have on AC. I'll bet it's about 75, maybe 80, but there's the big trees overhead, so I'm not getting any heat really. And Richard's in the building directly behind me, waiting to see urgent care for a completely blocked ear. He thinks this is so funny. I try to explain why his thinking might be wrong, but about 6 months ago, he fell, maybe about 4 months ago, he fell and hit his head. He has had a CT. It did not show that he has a concussion, but Richard has had very serious dizziness at times. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it would always be from generally getting up out of bed onto the side and standing up. He thinks from 4 months ago, he dislodged some wax that is just now coming out and plugging up the ear canal. And I said, I don't think that's how that works, but you go to a doctor and you have them explain it. I could be wrong. So I watched Catfish Terry, and I don't know if I have any moderators on here. I'm using my phone, of course. So It's About Time Now is here. Thank you so much. It looks like I did miss some people. It's About Time Now. Okay, I've got everybody else. He may have had vertigo, and maybe from bumping his head, it did the jumbled up the chrysalis. I hear the crystals. I hear the conduit. So that could be. He had some of this issue many years ago, and he actually went to a therapist that specializes in that, in vertigo, or physical therapist that specializes in vertigo. But it seemed like it hasn't done the job. It didn't do the job, but he hasn't had any real problems until just in the last few months. After he fell and hit his head, he definitely had something happen. And I don't know. Van Vita Travels, popping in for a few minutes. Well, I'm popping up for just a few minutes, probably, 30 to 45 minutes. Richard's in getting his ear checked out because it's all plugged up. So I thought maybe there's some people who might need to connect. And I have a hard time just sitting. Sometimes I'm not good at just sitting. And I really like you guys. On top of that, I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy seeing what you have to say and what you're doing, and the parts of the world that you're in. So I also miss that when I only get to do this twice a week, or I've only planned to do it twice a week. But lower salt reduces sodium to less than, it helps Brad with vertigo. So Are you saying lower salt, a lower sodium diet might help? Because that lower sodium helps everything for the most part. I would have to really pay closer attention, of course, to what we're eating. I've got a bunch of chicken I'm going to roast in the oven roasted chicken breast, and some quarters. We're going to barbecue, maybe we'll barbecue them, and just put some seasoning like Mrs. Dash that isn't on there, so that if somebody wants a little bit of salt, like a little bit of sea salt or something, that can just be added on top, and it doesn't have to be soaked through, not to mention salt dries things out, but okay, I hear you. It's that lower sodium. Well, we'll give it a try, because this is definitely an issue that he got when he hit his head. Whatever we can do to fix it, I will try to do. And it's causing it. I would suspect it had to do with his fall. Yeah, Van Vita, it is. And his blood pressure runs normally good. Normally good. And does Mrs. So my mother was on a very strict diet for the many years before she died, and she like low sodium everything, and they didn't, back in those days, she died 30 years ago, they didn't really know how to cook tasting good without, cook low sodium, low sugar, because she was a horrible diabetic, had to have insulin like 3 times a day, I believe. And they use Mrs. Dash on her food. That's one thing she could have. Now, I'm sure they've now got Mrs. Dash that maybe has some salt in it, but I don't know. I've bought Mrs. Dash that did not have salt in it. So, but it has nice flavors to it. And when my dad was in the nursing home, he had me pick up some Mrs. Dash, and I got a really nice flavored Mrs. Dash that I liked when I was over visiting him, and it had no sodium in it. I would put some in my hand and I'd lick it, because I usually got there, I hadn't eaten all day, and I was hungry, but the flavor squelched my hunger a bit. Cool. Does anybody have any live streams coming up? Van Vita, Paula, you do one Monday through Friday. Is that correct? Are you getting ready to go on one here in a short time? At 4 o'clock, I think. So back to Catfish Terry. He did the coolest live stream networking show I've actually seen. Okay. He's just kicked back, probably 60 something, man, very, very respectful guy, with this beautiful fish tank, gigantic thing in the back of him. No salt. No salt is another alternative that is high in potassium. And I do know that you can only have so much potassium, because my mom took massive pee pills, and she had to take potassium supplement. We've never done a live stream in our own, but we're considered. Okay, so they are so easy. You're looking at somebody who was terrified to do a live stream for many, many reasons. I didn't understand that, you build it and they will come. I just didn't. I did not think I had anything to say that anybody wanted to hear. And most of the people, so all the people I enjoy listening to, let me rephrase that. Many of the people, because I came on here because we're planning to be full-time out on the road in January. And so I came into all this in order to learn about going full time. So I watched a lot of van people. I eventually ran across Roy and Becky. I realized I need a Class C, and I cannot do this in a van. I'm past that part of my life. I thought I could. And by the way, van life looks very it looks exotic and it looks very romantic. There's a romanticness about van life. You're very cozy. But then I thought, as a realtor, I remember saying when I was talking to people about a cozy house, it is just another word for very, very small. It's another phrase for very, very small. So I was watching Blue Wave Odyssey, and if you don't all know who Blue Wave Odyssey is, if anybody on here is a moderator, I need a moderator who might be able to drop some links for me. How about, I think I can't see who's a moderator because I'm in StreamYard. I'm just checking to see if Richard was coming out. Nope. And so somebody could drop the link for Blue Wave Odyssey and also for Catfish Terry. So I came on, wanted to learn about that life, and I have learned a lot about that life and discovered, while it may be exciting, exotic, and it may be romantic, I have to be able to stand up. Kim in Ohio. Hello, Kim. So glad that you came by. I'm talking here a little bit about Catfish Terry. You might know Catfish Terry. Kim is one of the networking channels that I love to go to when I absolutely can. Well, actually, I love to go to. Kim in Ohio. If somebody could drop Kim in Ohio's link too, please. And so I discovered that I need a Class C at the very least. Oh God, I would love to have a Class A, but Richard and I were on our way over here today and we saw a fifth wheel, and he goes, first he said a bad word, and he said that's too something big. And I said, too big? It's a fifth wheel, Richard. You can live in that full time. And he goes, I don't care. It's too big. Look how tall it is, And I'm like, oh, I see that. And I said, well, a Class C is big. And he goes, not tall like that. And he's right. It's not tall like that. The only advantage a either bumper pull or a fifth wheel has is that you have the vehicle attached to it. You can detach, set it up, and go bye-bye. Go do whatever you want to do. And so, anyways, back to what I was saying, and I got off track. So I was on Blue Wave, and he was talking with Box Van D, and everybody here knows her, so I don't think we need to drop her link, but if anybody wants to, feel free. And I heard Box Van D like adamantly say, no, I won't do a live stream. And guess what? Within a week, she was doing a live stream. And it was a challenging live stream. She was new, a newbie. She was nervous. She was trying not to smoke. She was, during that, and it was rough for her. It was very rough for her, but we stayed on for her. I stayed on for her. I can't say we. I'm assuming everybody else is the same way. We stayed on for D. And I would have never left that stream and let her think she did a bad job, because she didn't. She did exactly what a newbie does. And so in one of my first live streams, I actually threw my camera. It went flying out. The whole thing, it just collapsed. I was in tears. And because I've always been someone who, if I couldn't do it perfect and right, I didn't do it. And at this, there is a learning curve. But it's so fun. You get to talk to the people that, and you can have them on. You can have a guest on. So then you can have a conversation with people that you only listen to, or that you only get to see their writing. And so RVDJ, I'm in Mays Landing, which is 40 minutes from the Atlantic County. I haven't actually gone to any in Cape May itself, but the city itself is absolutely amazing. So that the technology, by the way, is the simplest part. The hardest part is getting over fear and intimidation. That's really the hard part. The technology, because I am technology challenged really badly. And I I could tell you that Michael from our Epic RV Adventure had told me when I had talked about it. He said, Lucretia, I can have you up and running in 5 minutes in a live stream. And he was right. Now, in the end, I did it on my own because that's just how I got to do it. And I did a live stream, and it was okay. It wasn't great, but it was all right. I just, things happen the way they're supposed to happen. If you're in here and you haven't had time to hit the thumbs up, that would be great to do if you're feeling like that's a good idea. And so I really enjoy the chat. It's just who I am. I can't pretend like it's not, and I enjoy the listening and see what everybody's going through. It's about time now, says and I don't know, see, on my phone, I don't know how to put things up on the screen. Everything about YouTube is a learning curve, LOL. Yes. And you know what I say is there's a reason these people don't have a phone you can call in on, because they couldn't pay people enough to deal with the stuff that I'm sure comes through their emails every day. Let's see. There was something that happened recently, and I was not a happy camper. And I think I called Meant to Be RVing about it. And I talked to her on the phone for a while, and she talked me through it. And I have the paid StreamYard, so I want to have some fun things on my channel. Let's see. Oh, California travel videos. Thank you for stopping by. I'm very glad you're here. Great point, Lucretia. Believing in yourself and knocking the inner critic out of your shoulder is paramount. Yes, because I know I shared this the other day, but as a youngster, I was in track and field forever. And even when I was at 130 pounds, I had no speed behind me. I had zero speed behind me. I have never had speed. My inseam, if anybody is a seamstress, is 28 inches, but about 26 and a half, actually. And that's a short inseam, and I know that. And so I threw the javelin, the shot put in the discus. And in those events, if I got a second or a third place ribbon, I came home and tossed them in the garbage. My mother dug them out. Today, I'm glad she did, and I have most all of them. So I could not fathom not knowing how to do this. I mean, and then doing it, I'm like, what are you asking of me, God? Because I just kept it kept gnawing at me that there's several reasons I thought it would be nice to do this. And I saw it as a good opportunity to get to know people better, to work on my channel, and to work on myself. And so that is, and I have that little inner voice that is is the God side of my person, and I'm the other side, and I am my own worst enemy. And I absolutely was not going to allow that to happen in this case. And I figured if I could go to college at 50 and the cohort be between 18 and 22, and I'm like one of three, I could probably learn how to get online and talk to people. I talked for a living. There's so much. So trying to figure out what's about YouTube and what's about traveling and learning, to get the and then all the other things that I like, by the way. I love the cooking stuff. I enjoy I enjoy watching crafters because I'm not crafty. I have decoupaged. I decoupaged a lot one time. And I also crocheted. I crocheted, and this is my personality. First thing I ever crocheted was, the browser lost connection to your camera. Make sure. Let's see. I think I'm back. I don't know what happened there. So the first thing I ever crocheted was a sweater for Richard. And one arm was significantly longer than the other arm. And then I crocheted some pot holders. Seriously, that's exactly how it worked. It's how I had to do it. And that's exactly what I'm doing here, more than likely. I'm learning as I go. This is on the job training. Bandwidth hiccup. Luckily, I'm outside of a place that has a lot of internet going on. I know I'm surrounded by a ton of stuff. So anyways, has anybody been hurt by, I'm a Dollar Tree do-it-yourself addict. There is so much stuff at Dollar Tree. So one of the things that I want to do for a learning, one of the things that I have thought about doing for on the road is, have y'all watched, I know most everybody probably has, oh goodness, their names will come to my mind, their channel name. It is about reselling stuff. Traveling Salvation. Lori's Crochet Corner 2. Thank you, Lori. I want to make connections. I'm declining the call. Yikes. She knows I'm on here. That's really weird. So I want to make a contact with you because I would like to have you on. I'd like to do an interview with you. And you lost a channel, and I want to talk to you about things that people can do to safety net themselves. In a nutshell, I'll email you and give you, my information so that maybe we can talk about it. Just talking and connecting today. And so that's the kind of the short end of everything. I see going on a half an hour. How's your day, Lori? Have a great day, loving life hitched up. So glad you came by. So yeah, what I was saying is that I've got on the one side, and I was watching Amy, the off-grid empath, talk today, about that, about everything being, I think, I'm not going to say we, because by the way, I don't ever speak for another person, especially about spirituality. Even with my gigantic misguided ego, I don't go there. I used to. And then I was nudged spiritually to stop doing that. It put people off. And so I stopped doing it. So anyways, I get nudged, and she just reminded me, the spirit through Amy reminded me that I do not remotely say, anything about what I believe. So I believe that I do the footwork, and I find out eventually if I'm doing what the spirit that I call God wants me to be doing. I'm able to figure that out fairly easily. And so I love doing this stuff. It feels natural. Although I get butterflies before I go on almost any time. I still get butterflies, even though I'm like very comfortable and at ease. And RVDJ, so how did you feel when you did your live stream? I'd be curious to know. I would be very happy to try and bring you up, but I just don't know. I'm going to see, so check out some here. Invite a guest. Copy to clipboard. And then I don't know how to drop it. I can't bring up the chat high enough to get to where I can actually speak, where I can put something in the chat. So how did you feel, RVDJ, after that live stream? Because you did a really good job. You kept trying to make connection, and that's kind of the deal, is looking at the chat and continuing to try and make connections, see where other people are at. I'm gonna make sure I haven't missed anybody, because I was very happy you did it. first of all, that you jumped over that log and jumped into the pool. I did a live every day, April, on another channel, a sure way to get comfortable with gear and finding your voice. Oh, yeah. Yes, very much so. I don't know how you couldn't. My little sister, who I wish would come on, Priscilla is my best friend. If you ever see her in her, she's Priscilla Hughes. So shy, so shy. And I wanted her to come on just in chat once, and she's like, absolutely not. I said, why? It's super easy. You just sit there and talk to me just like we're sisters. Well, she knows too much probably to talk like that, so we'll keep her out of the chat. Oh, one time, and this is the story she always tells. One time when we were kids. I was a kid. By the way, I was a kid. All right. And yes, I was a precocious kid. There were a couple boys jumping off our roof in our backyard, showing how tough they are and blah, blah, blah. The kind of boys. They're just fun kids. And I was about 12, maybe about 12 years old. And this one boy that I just absolutely adored, I blocked him from hitting the ground. I kind of caught him off to the side, and it's like Priscilla wanted to jump off the roof too, and I told her I would catch her. I didn't catch her. She didn't get hurt, but seriously, I've apologized many times over for that in many ways. But she says she's forgiven me, but I have a feeling it's still underneath her skin. No, she loves me just like I love her. Yep, number one thing is to breathe. Van Life with Gina. Hello, Gina. Just doing a pop-up chat and connect while I'm waiting for Richard and the doctor. He's got a completely plugged ear. And so I thought, I'm not going to sit out here doing nothing. And so here we are. And I had watched Catfish Terry, and I think I've seen him on your channel, or you talk about him. But my initial contact was through Roy and Becky. And so I went over there today, and it was more than a warm reception, let me tell you. Watoski TV, hello. Hello to you. Thank you for dropping in. Really Creative Travel, hello. Thank you for coming by. We just got a quick kind of pop-up chat and connect. Waiting for Richard at a doctor's appointment. But it's urgent care, so it was walk-in. So it could be a few minutes. And so it was a greatly warm welcome. I've never been in his live stream before, and he made me family. Super, super laid back, cool man. Really Creative Travel, Catfish Terry. He was just so nice. I didn't anticipate, I didn't even know what kind of stream that he had. But it's basically a chat and connect stream, and he's got a beautiful giant fish tank on a green screen thing. It's just gorgeous. And he is a fish person. He has fish tanks, and I think he catfishes. Hence Catfish Terry. Anthony T's tank. I'm from Catfish Terry. I was just telling everybody, I fell in love with Catfish Terry. I could not believe how kind and welcoming he was. I don't know why I couldn't believe it, because for the most part, everybody that I've ran across out here, that's how everybody's been. Kind, warm, welcoming, helpful. So, I mean, Roy and Becky are always saying how much they really like him. They just love him. And then here I popped in there and got a nice warm welcome. If you haven't had a chance to hit the thumbs up, that would be very useful. Apparently it's useful. What is it called? What's the word, people, I'm looking for when YouTube is looking at my brain fart? Um, yes, he is. I can just tell he's good people. He's what my parents would refer to as, now that's good people for certain. Uh, I'm in a parking lot. I got all my windows down, and I just always look around when I'm in a situation like this, because even though it's different, one time I was at a park. Um, Richard and I were married. It was probably 20 years ago. So I was probably my mid 30s, late 30s. Um, yep, from Japan, and I think they're about 10 hours behind us. What time is it in Japan? Watotsuki TV. Watotsuki Watotsuki TV. What time is it there? So I was in a park. He was at an appointment that was right around the corner, and this is a busy park. Lots of people. I was on the main drag strip of that park. Um, and yes, there's a walking path, but it's a park, for God's sakes. It's a nice park. And on the left hand, so on the right hand side is the park, and on the left hand side is Skinner. It's called Skinner Butte. It's called Skinner Butte Park. And the butte was on my left, nice shade. And I laid my seat back, and I had fallen asleep, literally fallen asleep. And I woke up and realized it was time to go pick up Richard. And I something was on my windshield, between my windshield and my wiper. And so I got out and I grabbed it, and it was a picture of male genitalia and an invitation to come up on the side of the hill. I have never gotten back in my car and rolled my windows up and locked my doors so fast in my life. I was scared to death. And we did. I went and picked Richard up, and of course, he was yelling, how could you be? Yes, our statistics, senior sister Freebird. Yep. Our stats, that's it. I got back in, so I went and picked Richard up, and he was not happy. He said, why would you fall asleep? Well, I had like an hour and a half. He was in an appointment, and I was an hour and a half. And so I'm like, I didn't do nothing wrong, by the way. Okay. I did nothing wrong, but we went ahead and went to the police. I took the note to the police. I took the picture to the police, and it was a police lady. And she was like, why would you fall asleep in your car in the park with your windows down? Do not you know that there are things that happen? And I'm like, at that time, I will be honest, no, it never crossed my mind something could happen. I wasn't really paying attention to news back when I was in my 30s. And I was just very nothing can touch me person. And that I'm tough enough to handle whatever comes along. I hope this person doesn't hit the side of my car. Okay. So I definitely, they took it, and they said there was some known activity in the area. And so I learned my lesson. And so I asked Richard to lock the door, even though I have the window down. I said, nobody will be able to jump in here quickly, because since then I have had a fear. There was, a man standing obviously right next to me, within inches of me, and I was sound asleep. And it could have turned out really bad. So I'm just grateful that it didn't. That was a God shot. Hello, Camping with Clammy. Thank you for coming by. Just chatting and connecting, and seeing how people are doing today. A beautiful day here in Lane County, Eugene, Oregon. Gorgeous, beautiful day. I'd say 75, maybe 80, but it's not super hot. Although I have a bunch of big trees over me. I'm in the shade. What part of the world are you in? Yeah, it's a really ugly world. And I just have to remember, good things happen to good people, really bad things happen to good people, and I'm a decent person, and bad could have happened. Art of RVing, I just got a thing for them for tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, I believe. It might be Mountain time because they're in Texas. And so I'm just getting excited to have my community tab, because I've got some plans for it. And Roy and Becky said it took them about 2 weeks to get their community tab. And Roy said he was just literally on his computer, and up it popped. All right. Well, thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Um, go spend time with your granddaughter. I don't blame you. Um, I don't have any grandkids, but I do have great nieces and nephews. And I have nieces and nephews that are actually more like my children, and they've got grandchildren. I didn't think this would go quick with him at the doctor. Um, so, just looking here, back at the chat. How is it in Japan right now? I mean, what part of, are you in particular area of Japan? What's your weather like in Japan? Like Japan's all just one place. Of course, I know that's not true. I'm thinking tomorrow has anybody got something going on tomorrow maybe? Are you going for a drive, going out to camp, or are you camping and you're just hanging out? I believe tomorrow we are going to go. Part of me would like to go to the coast. You can never go wrong doing a live stream from the coast. And by the way, even if I did a live stream, even if I didn't even video, that's my home, so to speak. That's my spiritual home, is the coast. Water, ocean. Big rivers are good too, but ocean definitely. That's one of the first times, this might make somebody laugh who has a spiritual life, but one of the first times I realized there was one of the three events that made me realize there really was a God, and a God over all the universe. And as one time I was at the beach with my friend. Her and I had just moved in together, and the very night, I didn't have much to move in. The bed was already there, so I just had my clothes and a little dresser. And so we decided we were going to go to Newport, Oregon, which is my favorite place to go on the coast. And it's about a 2.5 hour drive at night, anyways, maybe closer to 3. Well, so we went. It took us a lot longer because we were inexperienced at driving in the fog, and we went at night. It was dark, and very twisty, windy road. I got us on the wrong road to go there. The worst road you could drive over to the coast on, from the Willamette Valley to the coast. It's probably the very worst in the Central Oregon. But because I was inexperienced, and she had a gigantic boat for a car, I mean, the longest old car I've ever seen in my life. And so we go over there, and we slept in the car overnight, and then we woke up, and it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood, is all I could say. It was gorgeous, gorgeous blue sky, sunny, perfectly clear, no fog. And so I walked down this is in the days when I could walk. I was 18. I was probably 17 when I met her. And so that would have been about 17 or 18 when we went to the coast. And so I walked down the beach, and I mean, a long ways down the beach. I would say a couple miles. And so this man, who seemed to me at 18, 17, 18, like he was an old man, he came up on a 4-wheeler or 3-wheeler, whatever it was Gracie Seeking Avengers. Hello, listening while getting ready for work. So everyone have a blessed day. You too. Richard is in at the doctor at urgent care because one of his ears is completely plugged. He can't hear out of it all. So anyways, he comes up, and he's a big guy, by the way. And at the time I was very average sized girl, but I'd been an athlete for a long time at that point. Of course, right now I'm just gigantically out of shape, but at that time I was not out of shape. And so, but I also was ignorant and naive. And so he offered to give me a ride. He asked if I wanted a ride back. And I said, sure. This is an old man. He's a great big old fellow, by the way, reminded me of Santa. And I got on the back of his little rider thing, and he took off with into the dunes. And I was telling him to stop, and he wouldn't stop, and he kept going. And I flipped us over on the side. Later found out that's a bad move to do, because a young man that we knew, he lost an arm because he fell over. Fell underneath one of those ATVs. But I had to flip us. I had to flip us because I knew he could never catch me. If I was in shape. I was able to run distance. I couldn't run fast, but I could run distance. And so I got off there and I took up off into the dunes and I got up onto a main road and walked what would be south, which I knew I would eventually run back into a road that took me back down to where my friend was. Now, she would have never gotten herself into a situation like that, by the way. That was not the kind of, it wasn't that she wasn't trusting. It's just that she was way less naive. I don't know, but I've had a couple. So after that all happened, I was sitting on the beach near my friend. She wouldn't let me out of her sight, and I just thought, oh my God, you know, you've really got to do something with me because I get myself into really, really bad situations, and I'm not safe. I'm my own worst enemy. And so I started really, I was going to church with her, by the way, at the time. It's how I met her, was at church. And I was going to church for other reasons. I'd met a boy. We didn't last, but that's what got me to go to church. And so that part of me that just jumps both feet in, that seems fun, can get a person killed, raped or killed, or both. And I really started trying to see things a little more adultly, but it still took a few more years and few more events in life before I finally realized that either I had to change how I was or I was gonna die young. And so I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, and I'll never forget that day because it scared. I was scared to death, and he was gunning it. I mean, he was really trying to get back through the dunes. So life lesson number 355,000. Let's see. Is anybody else doing anything this weekend? Going shopping, hanging out with family and friends, doing a barbecue, or just relaxing? I feel a little bit of the heat coming through now. It's probably because I opened up the sunroof. And with my luck, there's probably a bird up there and it's going to crap on my head. Let's just pray that it doesn't. Ladotsky TV. If you're still on here, what's your channel about? I don't remember. I know that I'm your friend. I remember that. I don't remember the channel specifically. So you mind sharing a little bit about what your channel is about? And anybody else who's on here, just in case. Nomads 365, hello to you. I just thought I would do a pop-up. That helps. See, that helped. My husband is in the urgent care. He's got a completely plugged up ear. And so I thought I'll take advantage of that time. Just sit out here for a little while and chat. I don't want to go in there. Even though I bought one of Gary's and his wife's face mask whenever, oops, here we go. He was doing a fundraiser for Weekend RVing. But you know what I find with this? So it slips off my ear really easy. And by the way, apparently I have a short face, just like I have a short inseam, because it comes off my ears. I hate them. I'm sorry. I wear them when we're in appropriate places. Lauren's ZY. Thank you, Lawrence. I think you're new to me, correct? Because I don't recognize your name. grandson and his new wife are due in a couple of hours for a weekend visit here. Oh, that's going to be so, so nice. That's sweet. I am working on doing some. So Lauren's TV, or no, that's not what it said. Lauren's at ZY. If you want to share a little bit about what your channel is, that would be very welcome. Just a little blurb or little blurb. That's where the camera is. Okay. They are both 21 years old and eloped a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm sure there might be mixed feelings about elopement. My nephew came to me one day and about a month ago and said that he and his, you're a newbie here, but I connect with you. Well, thank you. And I'll come and check out I need to write your name down. Well, if you connected with me, so I will see that and I'll be able to come back to you and check out your channel. So yeah, that's one of the things was today to give people an opportunity to check out channels maybe they didn't know. And we're not a sub for sub channel here. I do not promote that at all, but I do promote checking out channels, making a connection with them. And I didn't trust this part of the process, but I was told, I heard this. I wasn't specifically told, but I heard people will come back to you. If you come to them, most people are going to come back to you because it is a two-way street. The only place I've not found that two-way street is in the large, and I'm talking big whale channels of 10, 20, 30, 100, or 300,000. They're never going to come back to me. They don't need me. And I don't expect it, but it would be nice. So, but generally speaking, I didn't, and it's not that I didn't trust the people, I didn't trust the process. And I know better than that because having worked as a counselor, I was always telling people, trust the process. Just trust the process. Try and not drink and drug today. Trust that if you put one more 24-hour together without substances, you'll feel better tomorrow. Or maybe the day after, or 3 or 4 days, but you will feel better. And so I'd forgotten that very thing I told lots of people. And I have found that to be true. I do not need to go beg people to be my friend. You know, and if I do, they're probably not the friends I want. So my point is that most of us are trying to grow. Most, for one reason or another. Some people aren't. They just like making friends, and that's okay too. If we just make friends with them, they will most of the time come back to us. Now, so I wanted to make that available. Kim does a great networking channel, great networking stream, and I very much appreciate Kim. She really helped me a lot be able to reach my first 1,000 friends, which I did the other night. But I did it on someone's live stream that I didn't even know, that I hadn't met yet. And I go on there, and there was a small group, like maybe 12 to 15 people. And there might have been 15, because I needed only 12 people. And I had been slogging all day long. Every live stream that I know, people that I know well, people that I didn't, it just seemed like the right connections were not being made. And so it was like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and I went into this live stream and I just said, hey, host, glad to be here. Thank you for being here. 12 away from 1K. And she was just the most gentle spirit. By the way, speaking of spiritual, she was the most gentle, loving, kind spirit. Genuine. If I was deceived, then I'm just blind. And I don't think I'm that blind these days. She really had that spirit of very kind, loving personality. And within 10 minutes, I was over 1K. And yes, some of those people have very much come into my chat. Some of them have watched my video, well, more than that first video. Some of them have watched more than that. So I have learned some lessons that I can gain connections and friends in a way that is more expedient. I don't. I am disabled, Kim, and so I don't have a regular full-time job or part-time job. So I have made this YouTube that, and and also, by the way, I like doing this. This is fun. I mean, who wouldn't like this? Really? I don't know. Any, I mean, maybe not everybody wants to come up and talk in front of other people they don't know. But you're one of the people that helped me. So thank you. And thank you for doing this as often as you do. I want to have you sometime, hopefully, come on the channel with a couple of other people and talk about networking. I was going to have my sister, one of my older sisters, come on, who is an experienced network executive. And I'm just listening to people. And she was going to come on, but she couldn't connect. She couldn't wouldn't let her click. I don't know. Things happen. Things happen. I'm full-time at YouTube because I am not working yet because I don't have green card for now. Well, I'm glad you're here in the States. I really like you. I think you're a genuinely good person. I just get that sense from you. I do. Just going to say it. My country, Lawrence, ZY, is United States, and I live in Oregon, which is on the West Coast between Washington and California. California's south of me. So that's where I live. And you were in Japan. Where in Japan are you? You're welcome, Kim. No, thank you needed. Another one is Grizel. Something loves to give. Grizel. Oh my gosh. I've just been doing this. So I just started doing it obsessively because that's unfortunately what happens to me when I set my goal for myself, and I'm not competing with anybody else. But because I have a competitive nature, I jump off the diving board from the top. I don't jump from the lower. And in real life, when I was a kid and we had to go, part of our gym class was to go to the pool, you couldn't get me on a diving board. I would take a flunk. I didn't like diving boards. They felt too out of control because when you jumped, they went down. And I just, I didn't like that. Even as a child, way too in control. And so I now figuratively know what that diving board is like. And I would watch people who would get up on the top diving board and jump, and I'm like, they are lacking something up here. It just didn't seem the smartest cookie on the sheet was jumping from 20 feet up. I swear it did not seem like it. Nor would I ever skydive. I don't go on roller coasters. I do not do anything where I feel my mortal life is in danger, even if I know logically it's not. I don't bungee jump. No, thank you. I've watched a niece jump out of a plane 2 times. Whoops. And the same niece bungee jumped. And another niece has skydived and bungee jumped. So, you don't know how to swim. Wow. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. So there's just, for me, I was a naturalist. Most people float. How I taught my son to swim. He was a toddler. He was running around. So I bet Brent was about a year old when we lived at a particular place. One of my dream is to skydive, even if I am scared of heights. Face your fears. Yes, ma'am. Face your fears. Face your fears. So I taught Brent how to swim. He was a toddler. You know, he was fully walking. And Richard and I managed a apartment complex, a big apartment complex that had two pools. And one side was for people over 55. And then there was a family side. And so we would go out there in the evening after work. And Brent, I would get in the pool because Richard hates to swim. He hates it. Doesn't like it. I always worry about people who don't like to be in the water. But anyway, I would get in the pool. I'd go, you know, I'm sure I must have started in the shallow end, but I'm only remembering the deep end. But anyways, what I'd have him do is he would run towards me, and that boy just jump, hands up in the air, into the water. He would go down, automatically comes right back up. Automatically comes right. It's the body's instinct to float up to the top. Now, if something happens and you hit your head, and you're in trouble, of course, but he learned to swim when he was just a little over a year old. Just saying. And then I would go down to the deep end. Same thing. He would go in and he would go as far down as his little body would take him. And then he would come right back up. And I was right there in case anything happened. I just, my father did that with me, except in a lake. It wasn't a controlled situation like a pool. I remember the day he took me out there into the deep water and he let go of me and he said, swim. Now he was there and I trusted my father wouldn't let me die. Wouldn't have let me die. But I was still scared. But I swam and I swam since and I love to swim. And so water and me are buddies. And as soon as my doctor releases me to be in water, because when you have back surgery, you can't be in a pool or a hot tub for 12 weeks after surgery. It has to have time for all things to close up. And apparently it takes 12 weeks, even though it looks closed up now. And that wound that had opened up is opened up a little bit in two places. It's doing great. We put particular silver medication. It's from pharmacy, put it in there and it closed up real quick, and put bandaging over it every day, and it closed up. So that is Bowsher Street, Kevin, Ohio. I am petrified of heights. I'm going to London Eye. Isn't that the thing? I'm also Eiffel Tower, adventurous vacation for some reason. That is an adventurous vacation. So the London Eye, isn't that the thing that is shaped like this and you can see straight down? Because I think I was seeing that on TV. It might have even been on someone's video recently. Because I really don't watch other TV at this time. I watch YouTube, except I am watching a few of my animal shows that I really love that I was missing because I was only doing YouTube. That's very Eiffel Tower. So I've never been up in the Space Needle, and my sister lived in Tacoma, and we had a few opportunities. We would go to Pike Place Market, which is in Seattle, and go to and look at the Space Needle. But I'm like, no, thank you. I got nothing to prove. That thing looks way too thin to be that high up. Bash and Mac looking down from the Sears Tower is pretty terrified. Okay, I will take your word for that. And isn't there one of these things, these tall buildings where you can kind of lean out over, literally lean out over in a safe manner, but it's still humans that manage that safety net. Bash and Mac. Am I your friend yet? I think I am, because that's a real familiar name. It's pretty terrifying. But I would love to go see these places. except for I don't think I'll ever fly. I've flown on one plane. It's a four-seater. It was a four-seater, and it was Newport, Oregon. And Richard and I weren't even married. Well, yeah, we were married. Gosh, it's like a huge Ferris wheel, but each car holds like 32 people. I knew there was something. And that just seems way too trusting. Looking down for the Sears Tower is pretty everything. It's at the Sears Tower. Oh my gosh, I'm going to look for a pen and a piece of paper because I'm going to make sure I see you, that I connect to you. And I may, but I may have. I just normally, even if it's, people's name will ring a bell, even if I haven't watched a lot of their stuff, but definitely you took the time to come over here and I want to go check it out. I wish that I had no fear of heights, but I'm beyond terrified of heights. When I was young, so I mentioned Skinner Butte Park here. So my parents drove us up to the top. Okay, so maybe that's why. But I did not. Yeah, I just started posting in February. I've had a YouTube account for several years, like most people. Martin Magic Videos, I do remember you. Hello, welcome you. Welcome to you would be the right way to say it. Thank you for the thumbs up. Glad you stopped by to say hello. Totally appreciated. So I got into doing videos in the end of February, and I think it's like the 21st or something of February. And then February, March, my father passed away the 5th of April, and I was off of YouTube for the better part of a month. And so I got back I started doing it again in May because I knew my father would absolutely not approve of me just laying in bed every day, missing him and not doing something about what I love. He was 94. He lived a very long life. He had a great life. And I know what he expected out of me. So I started doing it again. So I'll check and see. But anyways, and Martin Magic Videos, I'll go back and check you out again too. So I'm so afraid of heights. When we were little, my sister and I, my father and mother drove us to the top of our local butte in town called Skinner Butte. Joseph Skinner is the one who founded Eugene, him and Mary, and the butte was named after him. So my parents were driving, and it's like any visitors area in a town that has a little hill. You drive out and you could see the whole southern part of the valley, and the other butte that's at the other end of town called Spencer Butte. And I was yelling. I couldn't see. I didn't have the ability to know he wasn't just going to drive right off the edge. I thought he was just going to go boop and then down, boop and then down. I was screaming, park sideways, Daddy, park sideways. And he never let me forget that. Glad that you're here. Glad everybody stopped by today. It's a gorgeous day here in Oregon, where I live, Eugene, halfway between Portland and California, or Washington and California. I used to say Washington, okay, with an R. Washington is not spelled with an R, but in my mind, it sounds like Washington. It's Washington. It's just one of those things. Okay, Boucher Street. And so that's where I'm at, halfway between Washington and California. And so let's see. Nope, I love doing live streams. They're fun. I've got new people coming into my streams out of the community I started in, and that was my goal because I want everybody to feel comfortable coming here. I want to feel like I can have a networking chat and that it's a safe place to network. That's why I explain what my view and what my experience with what networking, safe networking is, because it all ain't about the number of friends we have, as it turns out. I wish it was. That I can do real simple. But if I get a ton of friends and I'm not producing or I'm not getting any watch time, then YouTube is not promoting my videos. And so I need to have good content that people want to watch so that they'll stay and watch it and maybe watch the whole thing all the way through and not just for the first 15 seconds. Just saying. And I, by the way, have stopped doing that. So my learning curve was that how I want to be treated, I treat you. How I want to be treated, I treat you guys. And that is to watch your videos properly, leave you a message that makes sense. So most of the time, I think they make sense and it's something of substance. Now, there have been some videos that I watched that people choose to make their intro video. And there's nothing but their picture and some music in the background. And on occasion, and I almost always, one thing I also, so here's another thing, pay attention to for me. So I go and I look at the about page, and there's almost nothing on YouTube that frustrates me more than when I go look at an about page and there's nothing there. So most of us don't have 400 hours in a day, and it does help kind of weed out the channels I really am not interested in. But I've become interested in quite a few things just because people have made it interesting. But seriously, to put some content in what you're about as a channel, for gosh sakes, say astrology, astronomy, whatever. I like to kayak and I cook awesome meals. Boom, it takes 5 seconds to do that. And when I was first filling out all these things, when I decided, okay, I think I want to try being a YouTuber, a YouTube creator. That still kills me. Creator. I absolutely do not see myself as a creator. Because I don't like doing, I'm not good. I'm good at it. I think I'm fairly decent at editing, but I have not fallen in love with editing. So anyways, that way I know what something is and I don't have to waste my time, and I don't have to subscribe to you and then unsubscribe to you because I found out this is not my cup of tea. I am working very hard at staying out of religion and politics on YouTube, only because I don't care who you are or how sweet you say it. Those two subjects are going to piss somebody off. I can do that easily. I can go on my Facebook page and have my sisters leave and boycott it because we're politically opposites. All my family, but me and Richard, are opposite me and Richard. And so, although Priscilla and I have learned to do this kind of like we really want to find answers. So anyways, my point is, those are the two topics I work at keeping out of my streams. Again, it's not because I'm afraid of them. It's because I don't believe it's the appropriate place for me to start talking about those two things, because both of those beliefs for me are pretty strong. And so, especially spirituality, it matters deeply to me. Although I say openly, I believe in the creator of the universe, and I don't do this by myself. I am led by something bigger than me to do anything that I do. And all the credit goes to the God of my understanding. However, you don't have to be the same way. I mean, it doesn't have to be what promotes you, so to speak. And so, anyways, I am definitely interested in hearing what other people have to say. And hello, at any given period of time. But, you know, I don't want to be an instigator of negative energy either. And my phone is down to 27%. I've been on for an hour and a half, and I think I'm going to have equipment to do some gaming videos. I bought a super strong magnet to do some magnet fishing videos. Oh, cool. And I bought a drone for other content. Haven't tried anything yet. Okay, so the drone thing. Kim, I love you, Kim. Thank you for being exactly who you are. The drone thing, oh my God, I love drone footage. And there's a guy out of Washington. He lives in Central Washington, I believe. He even may live in Bend. But anyways, he spends a lot of time up in the high Cascades, and his drone footage is beautiful. It's magnificent, gorgeous footage. And so he drives a Vanagon, a Volkswagen Vanagon, and he does great stuff with one of those. When I have the money to do it, and it's one of the reasons I have a one of the things I have, I'll put it up here just to show y'all. I have, let me find it. Let me find it. One thing I have is I have a Patreon account because I really want to build the channel and do more with it. If you know, and I need help. I need help. And since I'm not monetized, I'm trying to find other resourceful ways to do that. I'd love to have a drone. I'd love to be able to go up above. We live right by the Willamette River. We don't live right. Well, I live within about a mile and a half of the Willamette River. But I heard someone scream. Anyways, and I would love to go get some footage. Would love that with a drone. So, you know, I don't push it, and I don't want people to ever feel like anybody who helps us in that manner. And I also think Patreon can be really fun. I got some fun things on there. And then also, where did it go? Because I didn't anticipate that it was going to be this fun. I really didn't. I may have lost it. All right. Well, I may have lost it. Anyways, uh, it's getting warm, people. I maybe have spoke too fast. I really don't want to go in there and sit. So I'm trying to do some things to help myself, and that's one of the things. I also have a PayPal account because that some people don't want to do the Patreon thing. They just maybe want to do a one-time donation, but it's all going to help our channel grow. And a couple people recommended, one person recommended a PayPal account, another person, a couple of people asked about if we had a PayPal account. So I hadn't, and I didn't, because guess what? I didn't know before one was monetized that they could. See, that's where all the ignorance comes in about there's so many pieces to there's so many pieces to this thing, and misinformation, by the way, that I don't know. I just didn't know. I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And none of us were born waking up one day with YouTube knowledge in the back of pocket about equipment to do some. See, my son games. My son, well, he's 30, but he loves gaming. Always has. And he's got a giant TV. And at one time had two giant TVs set up for gaming. And he's got some stuff, you know, he's got some stuff. The only thing I've invested in so far that I've really been able to invest in is I've got a couple of different tripod things to utilize. One has a light on it about this big, and it stands up, you know, and then I've got a couple smaller tripods. Let's see, what else have I invested in? Oh gosh. Richard did for $30. He bought a faux GoPro. We still don't know how to use it. We need someone who knows, who could teach us maybe. Although Richard could figure it out. He's very smart. You're monetized and still learning. Oh yes, I can imagine just the little things that pop up, and I see, I see that I hear things from other creators, such as YouTube looks at people in the first 15 minutes or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to be taking stenograph notes, be a stenographer to catch all these things and write them down. And then let's see. What else? All right. Yep. Now I'm down to 24%, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream because I have to save some juice in my phone. And this is something that I did get. Okay. I have one of these. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's about 3/4 of an inch thick. This is a charger. It's a battery. Only problem, the battery only had like 10% left in it. So I forgot to charge it. And so when we're on the road, I'm going to have to remember these things have to be taken care of. I can't, or I won't have my phone charged up, or my I did get a lip. Oh, I got the other thing. The major thing I got a laptop. And my computer was 10 years old, 12 years old, something in the old section of computers, because that's old for a computer. And it performed horribly. Power bank, thank you, Kim. It was my live streams where when I would invite people up, they were not doing well. It just would crash, so to speak. It just really was not good. And so I couldn't pay for it all at once, but I'm paying for it over time. But it's a reasonable price. I got a new HP something, and I love HP. I know lots of people use MacBook things. I love HP. And so that's just what I got. And by the way, I had 3 people up in chat yesterday on screen, and it didn't crash one time. Not once. So, and we are happy. And it was a necessary investment. Necessary investment. I've already sold my monitor to a roommate. My son got everything off of the computer and put it in a file, and it's now in my it's a little triangle. It's in my memory for, not my head, obviously. Google thingy. It's like that. It looks like that. And that's where it's at. So when I need to find stuff like thumbnails. So anyways, thank you for showing up. I appreciate that you came by, and anybody who's still here. I know Kim is here. Bash and Mac is here. It shows, I think I have 4 people. Maybe Boucher Street. I know they had to leave for a few minutes. Martin's Magic Videos, maybe. Anyways, thank you for coming by. And Kim, I'll be by soon. My laptop is 11 years old and it's Acer, but I only use plain videos of supportive friends to help in watching hour. I use my phone in live streaming. And I could have done my phone too. But I have not been able to, and I really shouldn't use the word I can't, I've not been able to learn how to do thumbnails on my phone. What program do you use for thumbnails, Kim? And anybody else who might be on here? Because I don't really have time to explain what the issue is. because I'm now down to 22%. But if you have a thumbnail producer that you like, it would be helpful, and I could take a look at it too and see. PicsArt, okay, PicsArt. There's a popular one, and it's easy. That's what everybody says. They don't know me. This stuff doesn't come natural. And I'm tired of asking my son because, you know, he makes little smart aleck remarks, as kids do. Even though he's 30, he shouldn't be making smart aleck remarks. All right, guys. You can download it from App Store. Okay, PicsArt. I will do that, and I'll just kind of browse through while I'm waiting the last little bit of time here. All right. Well, you guys have a great night. I will see you around Kim soon. And I'm trying to add 50 friends a day. That seems like very doable. Shouldn't be that big of a deal for me. So I know I'll see you. And Bash and Mac, I'll see you soon too. And also, I will intentionally go over to all of his house, but Martin Magic Videos too. Martin Magic Videos. And I got to write that name down. All right. I will talk to you later. Stay safe, stay healthy. Love you guys. And